With your host, Louisa Barton.
I want to be a famous rider. I should like to race.
Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital.
Truth is, I help horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton!
Yeah, the Larson family has been farming hay in Idaho for generations with a mission to always provide high-quality hay products at a fair and reasonable price. Larson Hay loves to meet new customers while always honoring the ones they already have. Find Larson Hay on the web at larsonhay.com, like them on Facebook, and definitely visit one of their locations. Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and our television broadcast sponsor. Welcome to the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. In the studio with me, I have my co-host back for a second week. Top equestrian, Daniela Moguel. She is a 5-star eventer and the only female non-military that ever competed in eventing for her country, Mexico.
Yes.
Very excited to have you back. Thank you for returning.
Inviting me.
And he's real.
I live.
Yes, he lives. He's not just a great voice on the phone. Dr. Adam Cayot from Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care is actually here in the studio with us. I've made him eat some pork pie already from Great Britain. I'll subject Daniela to that later.
I want to hear that.
That's right. It's amazing, actually, isn't it?
It's pretty good.
It's not too shabby, is it?
No, not too bad.
Yeah, it's
What
some
they
good
say
stuff.
about British food.
I don't believe them. It's really good, especially bangers and mash. I'm going to start off with some news in this first segment. Then we're going to chat to Dr. Adam Cayot about some of the challenges he faces being a veterinarian, which is actually, we were chatting before the show, and he actually shared an interesting one with me that I hadn't really thought about, but it fits. So that will be in the next segment. Then we actually have a pre-recorded segment with Hall of Famer Steve Haskin talking a little bit about the Haskell Midnight Bourbon, who did an amazing job saving himself, getting back up and not hurting his jockey, avoiding his jockey. Really the hero of that race for sure. And Steve shares a little bit of his opinion on that race, and also a little bit about the whip situation, and how it's not really a whip even, considering it's just a piece of leather that is a great warning when you're on a 30-mile-an-hour racehorse. So we're going to hear that from Steve, and great, he's always wonderful to have on the show, always so interesting, lots of information. And then we're actually going to have Katie on the show. We talked a little bit about her and her amazing mule and some of the things that she's advocated for mules that are just incredible. And we're going to talk to Katie Wetteland a little bit later on. And then we have Del Shields from Best of America by Horseback, the most popular horse riding show on television on RFD TV. Del Shields is now the host, as Tom Say has set back for a little bit and is taking a rest and recovering from some heart problems. And Del has taken over and is kind of running that show now, and hopefully will be coming here to Ocala, we hope, this winter. So we'll chat to him a little bit, and maybe he'll sing for us. He's the singing poet. Yes, he's amazing.
I want to hear that.
Oh, he's wonderful. He's actually making us a song for the show.
He's not.
He is.
All right.
You know, that's great.
That'd
It's
be awesome.
fantastic, yes. So, a little bit of horse news, first of all. The U.S. got Team Silver.
How cool
in
was that? I know.
dressage.
Yeah.
What
That was
about that?
fantastic. Yeah, that's great news.
Yes, it's very exciting.
And actually, I was just reading that they, the dressage team finished the competition, and they won the silver. They haven't, the first time they won the silver medal.
70?
No, 1948.
Oh, was it? 70 years, yeah. That's 70 years.
Oh, you see, that's why I'm right, and I don't do the first.
Something like that.
70 years?
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's
No.
a long time, isn't
That's
it?
amazing. Well, they have a really good team.
They do.
They do have.
And
a
they
really
all
good team.
qualified individually as
That's
well.
amazing.
The
'cause
team.
that's
Yeah.
That's exciting.
yeah.
Good stuff. So Germany won, imagine that, the gold.
Surprise, surprise.
You know those Germans. But,
Of course,
No
you
comment.
were gonna say it.
but third was the Brits.
Yeah.
So the Brits got their butts kicked By the Americans.
By the U.S.
By the
right.
US. By the US.
Imagine that. So anyway, hats off to the gold winners, to the Germans, to America, the silver, well done, fantastic team, and then the bronze for Great Britain. So well done on team dressage,
That was
very
fantastic.
impressive. Yes, well done.
Good.
Last week we mentioned very sadly that Annie Goodwin, a wonderful event rider, sadly passed away in an accident, in a schooling accident, and I was very, very saddened by that. And of course, our prayers and thoughts go out to all connected. But they have actually started an Annie Goodwin Rising Star Fund, which is going to be to help benefit up-and-coming event riders, young equestrians who want to get into the sport. And I don't think there's anything that Annie would like better than a fund that actually will go to help others learn to be as good as she was, because she certainly was an incredible equestrian, amazing eventer. So that was Aiken Horse Park that set up that foundation. So
That's
well
very nice.
done, Aiken Horse Park. And I can't think of a better way of memorializing somebody who did such an incredible job at her sport and was so well loved by so many. Sonoma Horse Park, unfortunately, had a warm blood come up July 25th with EHV1 and sadly had to be euthanized. Another 2 horses were febrile as well after that, so they've been obviously quarantined and are being checked. But just a heads up there, in California, in the Sonoma Park area, whenever we hear about that, we worry, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Get your horses vaccinated.
Yes,
Please.
absolutely. This is your guy right here.
Katie Wetteland says 1776 round 2 horse Roger.
What's that?
What?
Hold on, Gigi speaking.
1776 round
1776.
2.
Oh, very funny. Okay.
Got it,
Well
got it,
done,
got it,
Katie.
got it, got it.
Yes. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm like 1776. Even I wasn't around then.
Yeah.
Now I got you. Yeah, you're right. Round 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got our
Poor
butts
Katie.
whooped. Yes. Well done, Katie. Well, she's listening.
Yeah, right.
You know.
That's good.
She's ready.
Her and her mule are listening, right? So, any other news in the horse world that you want to share with us? Got anything going on big in eventing? Other than
Well,
you,
no.
you're a big deal.
Nothing. I mean, eventing starts this weekend, so we'll be watching.
Of course we will.
We'll be watching.
We will, absolutely. Definitely. And the equestrians, the female equestrians do wear clothes in the equestrian sports.
Yes, that's right.
I had to share that because I saw so much on social media about why do women not wear many clothes
Oh, I
in
saw
the
that.
non-equestrian sports.
I
And-
was looking at that about the volleyball players.
Yeah.
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 Well, yeah.
Equestrians wear what we call jodhpur pants in
Sometimes
England.
we
but
wear
riding
too
That's
many
right.
clothes.
Too many
I have
clothes.
to say.
Yeah, yeah.
Too
That's
many
right.
clothes. I
That's
wish
right.
we had to wear less clothes.
Less clothes, yeah, you're right. Actually, you know, it was funny you say that, but when I saw the picture of the dressage riders in the team when they put the
Right.
Stefan Peters and
They're
and
sweating.
they are.
Oh,
yeah.
And the other thing I noticed is their white breeches are never white anymore, even at the Olympics. How do you
No.
keep
You
white?
can't. You
breech?
don't.
You
You
can't.
don't. That's the answer. You don't.
It's not possible, is
No.
it?
I had a friend, an acquaintance that we took him to the World Equestrian Center to watch some shows. And we sit down to it, and he said to me, "Look at that. Please never buy white breeches. They look terrible." I'm like, we
Well,
have to.
you have to.
We have to.
Right?
But yeah, that's a very stupid rule, so if we can change it, that'll be
Yes.
fantastic.
No, a whole lot of options.
Although I heard it changed.
Really?
It changed. In dressage, you can wear whatever.
It should.
Oh.
That's what they say.
White,
Khaki.
I can never wear white. Everything ends up on white for me. So,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
not going to put a poster up for you. Hopefully Gigi can pop that up for us. We've got a bit of an exciting event going on at the Florida Horse Park. Thank you to Miller and Sons Plumbing, who always jump in and support wonderful horse events. We have a young lady who is going to the Paralympics. She is a dressage rider. She had a tumor in her left arm that had to be removed, and it was very close to the nerve and did quite a lot of damage. She kind of had to learn to ride all over again and really compensate, special reins and everything. Her name is Kayla van der Walt. She lives here in Ocala. She would like to get to the Olympics, but there's a lot of expenses for her to get there. So we are going to do what we call hobby horse gymkhana, but I found out Americans don't know what hobby horses or gymkhanas. So it's actually a stick horse equestrian games. Okay? So that's what it means to all of you who've messaged me and say, what's a hobby horse?
What's a hobby
But
horse?
I love you anyway. Make sure you come down July 31st, Florida Horse Park. Thank you, Jason Reynolds, for helping us. 9 to 2 with a meet and greet of some real horses, not hobby horses, and a parade at the end. Should be a lot of fun. Stay with us. We're coming back with Dr. Adam Cayot to tell us about the troubles he comes across being a horse veterinarian. But he gets through it all and still shows up here smiling.
Yep,
We'll
that's
be
right.
back in just a minute. Stay with us.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now, or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
Welcome back to the second segment of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson & Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm the host, Louisa Barton. I've got my co-host in the studio. She actually came back for more. Top 5-star eventer, Daniela Moguel, and Dr. Adam Cayot from Peterson & Smith is here with us. Dr. Cayot, thank you for joining us in person.
You're very welcome.
You know, once you've been once, you have to come back, right? It's the rule.
Gotta come back. I'll be here.
See, now you know he's handsome as well as an expert, so it's good, right?
Thank you.
Dr. Cayot, talk to us a little bit about some of the challenges of being an ambulatory vet. I know some of them are clients like me.
Yeah, aside for them rough clients. Well, I mean, let's just start at the top. Being an ambulatory vet is pretty much a labor of love for us, mostly. Certainly, it can provide a nice living and that sort of thing, but there are certainly challenges that we face as ambulatory practitioners. One being dealing with a 1,000 to 2,000 pound animal that sometimes doesn't like you a whole lot. That's number one.
Especially if he's not feeling all that well.
Not feeling all that well. That's right. With any veterinarian, obviously our patients can't talk. They can't necessarily tell us what's wrong with them. That makes it difficult. But primarily being a horse vet, you're working out in a barn. You're working in 96-degree heat. You know, here in Marion County, we don't have too much of a problem, but there's a whole big problem with a lack of horse veterinarians anymore coming out of vet school. You can make a better living, have better hours, and have a more rounded life, typically, if you wanted to do small animal. I'm in a good spot because I work at a large practice and we can share emergency duty. But your typical horse vet or large animal vet is, you know, a single guy, single gal out there, and they're covering emergencies 24 hours a day, unless they can partner up with another practitioner in the area and they can share those. And sometimes that can get a little hairy, because what happens if a client likes you better, and so that makes it a challenge. So that makes it a real problem for work-life balance.
Yes.
And it's a big hot topic in the veterinary world right now, because it is a struggle, and not to mention the fact that so many women are now coming into the veterinary field, and obviously they have, you know, they want to have a family. They're responsible for carrying the baby, and that makes a whole different challenge, you know,
Yes.
as far as being able to practice and be pregnant and that sort of thing. So we're trying to bring the equine practice into a little bit more balanced focus on the veterinarian and how that can be. But we are really experiencing a void of equine vets that are coming out
Really?
of school. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It's actually alarming, and the you know, the AAEP, the Florida Association of Equine Practitioners, they're all trying to do these programs to introduce prospective students to veterinary medicine and equine practice as it is, and you know, because it is a problem, and there are many equine veterinary jobs that are going unfilled now, and that's an issue.
Like what?
Well, there's surgeon jobs that are out there that at Peterson and Smith, we've had a surgery job open for several months now.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, so it's you know,
That's
it's
definitely a challenge.
it's a challenge, and you know, it's like I said, it's a lifestyle, it's a labor of love for us, you know.
Why did you choose it as your career? Did you always know
'Cause I
that you
didn't know
wanted
any
to be a...
Well, I grew up, you know, showing hunters and jumpers, and I looked around and I knew I wanted to be
How
in
did
that
I not know
industry.
that about you?
Oh, well, see, learn something
You
new
can
today.
jump.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
you're competing at the horse park this Saturday
Great. I
over
just
the
opened
jumps,
myself up.
Dr.
Yeah.
Cayot. You did
Yeah,
That was
great. Give me
fun.
my hobby
I'm
horse.
going to count your strides and
Meter
everything.
20. Meter 20.
Yeah, this I'm going to do.
Oh my God! Be careful with what you say
Yeah,
in this
right,
show.
right,
Yeah,
right,
be careful
Right.
with it.
So I looked around and I said, well, who makes a nice living in this industry, you know?
The vet.
And so vet makes a nice living. If you're a good trainer, you can make a nice living. Other than that, it's a little rough. So so I said, well, I think I can do this. I think I'm smart enough to do this, and it worked out. But that's kind of the way it led. I love horses, you know. They've always been part of my life, you know. So that's how it led me down that path. But by the grace of God and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, I'm here 20 years later. But you know,
That's true.
that's the way it worked. But I mean, obviously, it is a challenge. You know, it's a challenging field to be in, but it's a good field, and we hope that we can make it attractive to prospective students as they come in.
And certainly as something that we've been working in my day role, which is with the chamber. You know, one of the things that we worked on last year was getting our new school superintendent to come and meet with key people in the equine industry. And actually came and met with a group of about 8 or 9 of us. And as a result of that, they've actually decided moving forward next year to add equine studies as an elective at one of our high schools here in the county. As a result of that whole conversation, with the hope that, you know, with children having that elective as an option, they'll go and learn more about horses. And those could be some future veterinary students
Absolutely.
or farriers
Absolutely.
or, you know, techs or something. But we're just trying to get, because one of the things I see as a big problem is those young people who can't afford to have access to horses, either lessons or own a horse, may be intimidated by
Absolutely.
horses, but given the opportunity
Absolutely.
to learn and
Absolutely.
be around horses may make them go,
Absolutely.
wait a minute, I want to do a horse career. And any horse career would be helpful
Yeah, I mean,
in the horse capital,
Let's
right?
face it, the majority of kids have had a dog or a cat or
Right.
something like that,
Yes.
and that's, you know, and that makes it a lot easier for them. They're more familiar with that, you know.
Right. And then you've got all
There
like
aren't so many
FFA
kids that have been
students.
exactly
Right.
that have been able to have
around
horses or
Right.
cattle or whatever, you know.
Exactly.
So it makes it, you know, it makes it a challenge. The other thing that we haven't really touched on, but I mean, student debt is a huge
It's
deal.
a huge deal, yes.
Yeah,
It is.
So when you're looking at coming out and being an equine veterinarian, you start on the bottom of the pay scale as far as on the average student coming out of school.
Exactly.
You know, so but you still have, I mean, there's kids $200,000-$300,000 a student
debt,
loan,
yes.
and you're looking like, how the heck am I going to pay that back
Right.
at this level? You
Right.
know, so that is a challenge in
It's
of
a challenge
itself,
in
and it's a
itself.
whole another ball of wax as far as schooling and the veterinary schools and how they can help with that sort of thing, and government programs and things like that.
To help make it more affordable, so
That's
that
right.
it is something
so
that
that it becomes
somebody-
more attractive.
Yes,
You know,
because that is a challenge coming out of school, period, but more so when it's a
Absolutely.
higher amount of money.
Absolutely.
And it obviously a long-term program like becoming a veterinarian, it's quite a few years of school. Those
Yep.
are some big bills to pay back.
Absolutely.
And you're
Absolutely.
right, entry level, that's
It-
tough.
It's something that's, you know, that's a big. It's obviously it smacks you in the face when you get out of there.
No doubt, absolutely, that makes sense. Well, very interesting topic, something I hadn't thought about. I know that many parts of the equine industry have seen issues with getting employees and finding people for workforce, and as I think that is across the board often, but very good point, like debt and schedule, and not being fortunate necessarily to work for Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, who has an ambulatory force to share that on
Share
call
that load,
and
yeah.
actually have a life as well. So Dr. Cayot, thank you so much for
You
sharing
bet.
that with
My
us.
pleasure.
Dr. Adam Cayot from Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. We'll be right back with our first segment this week with Steve Haskin about the Haskell and whips and more. Stay with us on the Horse Talk Show. We'll be right back. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, and Larson Hay, our broadcast and television sponsor, plus supporting sponsors, DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Piranha, TT Distributors, and the Hilton Garden Inn, downtown Louisville.
Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at seminolefeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton. Got my favourite guest on the show. Don't the rest of you be upset. He's our Hall of Fame turf writer, Steve Haskin. Welcome to the show, Steve. It's lovely to have you back.
I'm sure you'd say that to all the guests.
No, only you. Just you. Listen, it's not every day we have Hall of Famers on this show, you know. It's pretty special.
I just made that up.
You did, sure. Steve, let's talk a little bit about another bit of a crazy year, especially as far as the Derby and Haskell goes. And I read your incredible column on secretariat.com about the Haskell, and I loved all the things that it pointed out. Most especially, I loved how it pointed out the incredible nature of the thoroughbred horse, and I'm a big thoroughbred fan for actually a number of sports. I love even seeing them post-racing, winning in the 3-day eventing and the show jumping, and they're such versatile horses and such a wonderful breed. And I think what Midnight Bourbon did to regain his footing and get up and avoid the jockey, Paco Lopez, was incredible. Can you comment on that for our listeners and viewers?
Well, to me, you can look at the first two finishes as obviously the stars, the way they battled to the wire. Two very, very game horses. But to me, Midnight Bourbon was the unsung hero, because without his heroics and his athleticism, who knows what kind of a disaster this could have been. As it is, watching it on TV, it happened so fast.
I know.
And he went down so hard that I instinctively turned away.
We all did this.
Thinking it was a breakdown. I mean, I thought he had broken down, and I thought he had fallen to the ground. And it was just awful. And then next thing I know, they're going over the finish line, and I see him running. And I said, oh, wait a second. A horse can't fall to the ground like that and get up. I'm saying, I don't get what happened, because I thought for sure they had broken down. Having seen many breakdowns, including right in front of me was, Go for Wand, which is the same thing, when the horse just falls like that and stumbles. And I didn't realize until I saw the replay that he didn't fall, but he actually, in some ways, did. Because if you watch the replay in slow motion, all four legs are on the ground, and his belly is on the ground. He literally had fallen and somehow managed to pick himself up. And, Paco Lopez didn't fall when he went down. He fell when he was trying to get up. Right. He fell off the side of his neck as he was getting up. And watching again in slow motion how he contorted his body to avoid him.
I know.
Because if you look at it, and I froze it several times, and Paco Lopez is laying right underneath him with his front legs in front of him and his hind legs behind him. So he had already avoided him with his front legs. And you could see him actually turn his body around and somehow get over him. Had the wherewithal to avoid him. I know it's instinctive that they try to,
right? But
you have to be athletic to do it the way he did. Because listen, there have been a lot of cases where jockeys have fallen, and the horses have tried to avoid them but couldn't.
It's true.
And all of this happened in a matter of seconds. So he had to avoid him actually twice, but getting up the way he did, and then having, like I said, having the wherewithal to immediately, because you talk about a horse who's frightened.
Yes.
I mean, he basically, had fallen and got himself up, and it's got to be a traumatic experience for him. And for him to avoid Paco Lopez the way he did, and then take himself and people don't notice this too, but then he took himself way to the outside to avoid all the other horses in the race. So it was, I just thought that he just saved the day.
He did.
Because who knows what would have happened.
Oh, it could have been horrible. And I never want to see a horse hurt in any sport, and sadly, unfortunately, it does happen sometimes, and it's devastating. And I know all of us turn our face at the very possibility of wanting to see that happen, and turning to look away, and then you don't see actually what happened. In most cases, you don't want to, but in this case, the outcome was fantastic as far as the horse able to get himself back on his feet, avoid the jockey not get hurt, and everything actually okay on that end. And you even went to visit Midnight Bourbon, I think, within a few days of that.
I did go to visit.
Yeah.
First of all, Steve Asmussen's assistant, Scott Blassie, I know very well. I know very well, but we're close. We text a lot, and we've always been very friendly. And whenever I text him about any of his horses, you know, he's always great about getting back to me. So I texted him and asked him how the horse was doing. And he sent me a video. And I don't know if you've seen the video of him after he got back when they put him out in the round pen.
No.
Well, he sent me a video of him in the round pen, and he's rolling and rolling and rolling in the round pen, and it jumps to his feet and starts running around the round pen and bucking and kicking. I said, oh, my God, this is like the next morning. I couldn't believe it. So I was in Saratoga last week, and, of course, I went to go visit him, and we went back there. A friend of mine came, and I took him back because he loved the horse. So we met up, and I took him back to the barn to see the horse. And he had just come off the track, and he was being washed down. And so I spoke to one of the other assistants, a very nice gal named Sarah, and she told me that, you know, he came back. He did have some cuts and scrapes, but you know, there's fine, and he's feeling good. And I watched him, and he looks great. He was acting great, like nothing had happened. And the only thing I could hope for now is that one day he'll get that grade 1 that he's been searching for such a long time.
Yeah.
You know, he's run so hard.
Yeah.
You know, going back to his victory in the Lecomte, and he's always been right there. But you know, either he's been unable to catch a horse, or he did get the lead, and a horse like Rombauer ran the race of his life to go by him in the Preakness.
Right.
But he's always right there. He just needs to mature. He's a Tisnow, and at this time in Tisnow's career, not many people knew who he was.
It's true.
You know, he had won the Affirmed. Nobody really knew much about Tisnow until he ran against older horses in the Pacific Classic, and ran a very credible race, then won the Super Derby, and we all know what he did after that. But at this time, we really didn't know because he was late developing, and he reminds me physically. In fact, earlier, a few months ago, I posted on Facebook facing headshots of Tisnow and Midnight Bourbon, and they look
Steve,
so much alike, same blaze.
Hold that thought for me. We're going to run to break real quick, but we're going to keep you with us. Gigi just gave me the signal, so we're just going to end this segment, but we're going to have more with Steve Haskin. Be right back.
Equestrians, it's time to take care of yourself as well as you do your horse. So get down to Pulse Center of Ocala. The PEMF wave is safe, and it's a therapy that charges your cells and allows them to function at their fullest capacity, so you heal much faster. Check them out at pulsecenterfl.com now, and tell them you heard about it on the Horse Talk Show for a free demo. World-class equine rehab promoting faster recovery is available at the Equine Performance Center Ocala. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, an underwater treadmill, a saltwater spa, an aquapacer, magna wave, a vibration plate, swimming pool, massage and laser therapies. With post-surgical care, memberships, packages and BOGOs, EPC delivers a rejuvenated horse through proven and innovative rehab. Like Equine Performance Center now on Facebook, and find them on the web at epcrehab.com.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show.
You never heard of a talking horse? Well, listen to this.
With your host, Louisa Barton.
What does it feel like to be in love with a horse?
Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience.
Back in the saddle again.
Now, here's your pretty Louisa Barton.
You're fab. You're switched on. You're a bit of all right. Yes. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Second half of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton. I have 5-star eventer Daniela Moguel here and Dr. Adam Cayot from Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. And joining us by phone, we have a very special guest. We have Katie Wetteland here, and she is an equestrian. She also works for the Boys and Girls Club, and she's a mule advocate. Katie, it's lovely to have you with us on the show. Welcome.
Hello. Oh, nice to be here. Sorry that my internet's not being cooperative, but I'm happy to be on the phone.
That's okay. We're happy to have you, and we've got some great photos and videos and things to share of you with your wonderful and very, very beautiful mule. And we got a chance to talk about you a little bit last week, but tell us your story, because it's really cool what you managed to pull off with some very hard work for 2 years and some petitioning and a wonderful accomplishment for mules. And actually, Dr. Cayot admired your extremely attractive mule right before the show.
Yeah.
He said, wow.
That was a good looking one.
Yes.
Thank you. Actually, funny enough, on that note, I'm not the only professional to be kind of awestruck by Mjolnir. I sent him in to a USHJA confirmation judging panel where they judged the confirmation based on what you did. So they sent in, dressage, eventing, cow horses, all sorts were invited to join in on this panel. And all you had to do is put your equine's age, what they did, and their name. And that was all the information that they were allowed to have. And the judge picked the equine best suited to their job based on confirmation. It was an hour-long panel with probably like 50 some odd horses. And out of all of them, Mjolnir's at the very end, quite clearly the only mule present, because of course he is. And out of every single horse there, he said, this one is most conformationally fit to their job.
That's so fun.
Oh my God, and just freaked out about it. But Mjolnir is a very interesting story. I've always been competing in A shows. On my warm blood, Bugsy, love him to death. I've had him for 10 years this year. He's taken me everywhere from under 2 foot to 1.20 meters, and we've jumped higher than that at home, but competed at 1.20 meters. And so that's what I was used to. The big A shows where everyone's got their high up and to do fancy warm bloods, and didn't really explore outside of that. Well, when I went to military school at Virginia Military Institute for college, I saw my first mule, and you just can't deny those big black eyes and those big old ears. And I said, that is the cutest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. What is that? And they were like, that's a mule. And I said, I have to have one. And so I spent 5 years doing all the research that I could about mules, because I'd never even heard of them before now, which is surprising to me. Lots of people don't know that hybrid exists, period.
She probably knows more about mules than you, Dr. Cayot.
Oh, probably, definitely. Definitely.
So I spent a long time doing research, learned everything that I could, talked to experts, and just got advice on getting my first one. And I, stupidly, by the way, I would not advise anyone to do the same thing that I did, just so happened to work out for me. Got my first mule for essentially a straight trade for my motorcycle. And that
Nice.
I got
horsepower for mule power.
2 years old for $1,000, and the poor guy was locked away on a quarter horse racetrack in South Texas. He's a Dash for Cash mare who was racing at the time whenever I went to go and see him for the first time, in a stall that was made out of concrete by himself, facing away from everything. He just stared at an open field. And I just felt so bad for this little guy. Showed up, he's got these big black eyes, and they're like, yeah, he doesn't really know much. You can kind of put a halter on him. We'll see what happens. I was like, okay, sweet. Let him go in the round pen for the first time in that month, they said. And they hadn't let him out that month yet.
Oh my God.
And he ran around for a while, bucking and farting and all that good stuff. And then he turned and came straight up to me and just stared at me and reached out and poked me with his nose on my chest. And I said, I'm taking him home. Here's $1,000. And so started my then pretty much feral mule experience, where it took me a while to gain his trust, as you do with, especially mules. They tend to bond to one person in particular. once I had that confidence in him, he displayed an interest in jumping. And I would like to point out, I never bought the mule with the intention of him being a show jumper. I just wanted this cute little animal that I could ride around for fun because my horse, Bugsy, who's now 25 years old, was getting up there in age, and I wanted a fun project while I looked for my next warm blood. This 13-3 hand mule became my next warm blood.
That's funny. I want to point out I didn't buy him with that intention.
And these had 6-foot panels. And I was like, it's okay, buddy, I'll be right back. And he's panicking on the other side of the round pen because he'd become my best friend. And I went to go catch these horses, and I hear this bang, and I turn around, and this mule is on the other side of the panel, just staring at me on the outside of the round pen. And I was like, oh my God, and ran over and grabbed him, and he just stood right there waiting for me. And I said, all right, let's see what you can do then, and set up a fence. And he cleared 3.9 his first time going over a fence, just free jumping.
Very cool. Yeah.
And I was like, all right, you're going to be a jumper mule. And so I'm on the path to becoming a jumper. And I will advise, let the penny drive you. I was told no by a show with 10 people entering in it, a little local show that said, no, you can't compete because he's not a horse. And I said, well, that's fine. I'll just change the whole rule.
Just go the whole way. That's right.
Ended up making some great friends along the way during the 2-year petitioning process. Whitney has become a very, I'm going to call her as close a friend as you can get over the internet, as well as, I hate that I'm blanking on her name, but there's a whole slew of people in the background that helped me with this petition, and I couldn't have done it without them. My sister, Addie Malinsky, now was then Katie Wetteland, helping me through and just encouraging me throughout the whole process. And she's not a mule person. She'll always be a warm blood person. She thinks mules are hysterical and loves his antics. But it was definitely a very unique experience. And everywhere that I've gone with him during the petitioning process, I was told that, you know, horses will always lose their minds if they encounter a mule. And so I said, no, they won't, and I'll prove it to you. And when showed him at places where I, of course, asked permission to bring my mule first, and if they accepted, I would show up. And never in my time of showing him, between, you know, the high up and fancy to do warm bloods, or the cow ponies that came to compete, or the Arabians that, you know, typically spook at everything, no one batted an eye at Mjolnir. Through all of the times that I have been to shows with him, there hasn't been a single horse to have an adverse reaction to him. If anything, funny enough, they're drawn to him, and they, like, follow him around like a moth follows a flame, and it's adorable because this big white warm blood decided that Mjolnir was his personal pet at one show and would not leave us alone in the schooling arena.
That's amazing. And what an incredible, amazing story and amazing accomplishment. Katie, I hate to cut you short because I'm loving this story. I can't believe it. Gigi just told us there's only a minute left in this segment, so it really flew by. But we'd love to have you back on again in the future if you'd like to come back and tell us some more. But your accomplishment of getting this actually to allow mules to be shown is absolutely amazing at rated shows. So I think, wow, over the jumps, I love to see it. We're impressed, aren't we?
Yeah, great story. Yeah.
Congratulations. You're incredible. Hats off. Well done.
Yeah, I love your story. Personally, I really, really love it.
We love it.
You guys look amazing, and yeah.
We think you're both gorgeous.
Yeah, both of you.
Straight up.
Both of you together. So it makes me very happy to be able to hear this from you. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you for sharing with us, Katie, and we'll have you back on the show. We're going to break. We'll be back in just a few minutes with Dale Shields. Stay with us. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Palm Chevrolet, and our broadcast and television sponsor, Larson Hay, and also to our supporting sponsors, Equisafe, Nirvana Medical Spa, Showcase Properties of Central Florida, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, and Summit Joint Performance. Nirvana, Ocala's premier medical spa, is leading the way in great skin with all the newest in treatment options, offering prejuvenation for younger clients and rejuvenation for all ages. Nirvana knows you want to look your very best.
But we've all seen people with the telltale signs of too much work. We want you to look like you, just better, brighter and younger, with all the newest and best in technology and all in the most beautiful surroundings. Like Nirvana Medical Spa on Facebook and find them on the web at nirvanamedicalspa.com. Become a better, brighter and younger you.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and services hassle-free and easier than ever, with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy. Find new roads.
World-class equine rehab promoting faster recovery is available at the Equine Performance Centre Ocala. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, an underwater treadmill, a saltwater spa, an aquapacer, magna wave, a vibration plate, swimming pool, massage and laser therapies. With post-surgical care, memberships, packages and BOGOs. EPC delivers a rejuvenated horse through proven and innovative rehab. Like Equine Performance Centre now on Facebook and find them on the web at epcrehab.com.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. We're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Buck. In the studio, I have Daniela Moguel. She is a five-star eventer who competed for Mexico, her country. That's an honor to have you back.
Thank you for inviting me.
And joining us now, we have Del Shields from Best of America by Horseback. He is the host, he's also the executive producer, and he's a singer. Del, it's lovely to have you with us.
It's good to be back, Louisa.
It's wonderful. Thank you so much. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with you lately. I know there have been some big changes.
Yeah, we are taking on the opportunity to expand Best of America by Horseback television show and the events that Tom and Patsy have built for 17 years now. And so Tom has extended an opportunity to me to help expand the show, and so I'm now producing shows and hosting, and it's quite an honor.
That's incredible. You were already doing a phenomenal job as co-host, and we love Tom C, of course. He's such a great guy. But moving forward, you're going to be traveling quite a bit more, coming to some different places to ride. And for those of you who've watched the show, it's incredible. It makes you want to be on your horse right there. But if you haven't watched it, you certainly should tune in and check it out. It's absolutely wonderful. Tell us about some of the places that you hope to go and some of your favorite stops so far.
Well, there's a lot of favorite stops that we've had in 17 years. So it's kind of hard to pick out all the favorites, but this next week is going to be a real highlight. We are traveling out to West Yellowstone, Montana, to the Diamond P Ranch.
Beautiful.
I will, 2 weeks from today, I'll be riding on the Top of the World ride on the Great Divide. And so we'll be getting to ride in some beautiful country that I've not seen before. And so looking forward to that. We're looking forward to some more rides out west. Bryce Canyon perhaps next year, and some areas out there that I'm hoping to explore and take some folks with us to ride.
Tell us about some travel tips and challenges that you've kind of faced. You've got a big group of people usually riding with you, and you're riding in a new place to you. What are some of the things, and obviously horses can be picky, yours probably aren't because they've traveled, but water can taste different from state to state. You've got to think about how horses are going to adapt to maybe different climate, different temperature. What are some of those things that you face as you go from place to place? Do we still have you down? don't hear him. Did we lose him? Del, can you hear us?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
good. There you are.
Yes.
The joys of internet.
That's right. So, an example would be next week we'll be traveling through Yellowstone National Park, and so the hay, the feed that you take through there has to be certified weed-free, and folks don't always know that beforehand. But with some of the feed options we have today, you know, bagged alfalfa and Timothy hay feeds and things of this nature solve those problems for us. So it's just a matter of doing a little research and then years of traveling. You jot down a few of these notes and try to spread those around, and certainly helps folks in their travels.
Absolutely, and I visited Yellowstone.
It's beautiful,
and
isn't it?
It's gorgeous. So Daniela is a 5-star 3-day eventer. She actually competed for Mexico in eventing. She's the only female non-military that ever has, which is pretty awesome. Daniela, have you trail ridden much?
I have, and in Mexico we like to do it, and I really, when I start riding for the first time, we did a lot of trail ride, so I really enjoy it. But one thing I always wonder is when you trail ride for several days, how is that you take care of the horses? What if you lose a shoe, or if a horse gets sick, or where do you sleep? How do you manage all that challenges?
Sure, there's lots of logistics that go along with traveling, and so we try to research an area that we're going to be riding in, and we will actually contact a veterinarian's office in that area that would agree to be somewhat on call for us, and they oftentimes suggest farriers that are in the area that may be able to take care of those issues. And so it's just a matter of doing a little bit of homework and making some phone calls and setting some things up so that you can take care of those issues and kind of have a little bit of peace of mind knowing
right
before you go that those things are in place.
Right.
So I'm going to shock all of our viewers because I had to read an email from Del about 4 times before I realized what it actually meant. But we're going to share a picture of Del riding naked.
Oh, no.
Okay.
There he is, riding naked. You,
yes,
you saw it. You saw it on the Horse Talk show. He's riding naked.
I love that.
I had
That's
to reread
perfect.
it like 5 times. That's the name.
He's a
of the
great horse. He's a great horse.
He's riding naked. He's a very good-looking horse. He's beautiful.
I rode naked from Mexico. That was an awesome ride.
Have you ever ridden naked from Mexico?
No, but I guess I have to try now.
Apparently you do. If you're listening on the radio, don't worry, naked is a horse. That's the name of the horse. Better just clarify. So we're going to play, yes, some little pieces of music for you that that Del writes and sings, because I'm so impressed. Actually, I met him here in the Ocala area, and he was singing and had his guitar with him at one of their events here. So we definitely want to have him back here in Ocala, but we'll share. Gigi's got a few songs. Gigi, can we have a little clip of music, please?
Brushes her hair back, melts him with her smile. From under his hat brim.
That's amazing.
What do you think of that?
That is
Hasn't
very
he got an amazing
pretty.
voice? Oh, we've only got a minute. So Dell is going to stay with us for a second segment. We're going to come back in just a minute on the Horse Talk Show. I hope you enjoyed listening to Katie Wetteland. I'm going to ask her to come back and be on the show with us again. That was pretty special as well. So stay with us. We'll be back in just a minute.
Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Palm Chevrolet, and our broadcast and television sponsor, Larson Hay, and also to our supporting sponsors, Equisafe, Nirvana Medical Spa, Showcase Properties of Central Florida, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, and Summit Joint Performance. World-class equine rehab promoting faster recovery is available at the Equine Performance Center Ocala. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, an underwater treadmill, a saltwater spa, an aquapacer, MagnaWave, a vibration plate swimming pool, massage and laser therapies. With post-surgical care, memberships, packages and BOGOs, EPC delivers a rejuvenated horse through proven and innovative rehab. Like Equine Performance Center now on Facebook and find them on the web at epcrehab.com.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the last segment of the Horse Talk Show this week, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Hay, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton, in the studio with my friend, five-star eventer, Daniela Moguel. And we have Del Shields with us from Best of America by Horseback, the host and also executive producer of the most popular trail riding show on television. That's on RFD TV. They go on some amazing adventures. And on the break, Daniela and I were just discussing how we need to go on their Ocala trail ride when they come here. So they're going to get both of us.
I would
good.
love to do that, Dale. If you
Looking forward to that.
Oh, perfect.
Absolutely.
Only if you sing for us.
Only if you sing for us.
That's a deal.
There you
That's
go.
a
Deal.
Gigi, have you got a little bit more music we can have? We like to hear this.
That was beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen.
Feels like springtime's in the air here in Kansas. I'm stretching wire, getting ready for summer grass. The snow is finally melting, the flowers are coming on.
Beautiful. You're amazing. Always blown
thank you.
away by your talent.
And
Much
Dale, what are
appreciated.
the best horses for trail riding?
Good question.
That's a question that'll get me in trouble.
Exactly. I'm sorry. Yes. I didn't think about that.
What do you ride?
There you go.
You know, I grew up doing cowboy work and riding quarter horses, and I still do ride quarter horses. But I've ridden gaited horses, fox trotters, and Tennessee walkers, and you know, there's some fabulous horses that do well on trails, and I'm kind of researching how I can open up more opportunity for other disciplines of horses to ride with us in various places.
There you go.
So
Just got a five-star eventer.
there you go. We would love to open that door. So yeah, there are just some great horses in all disciplines and breeds, and we've seen some tremendous horses on the trails.
You know, it's interesting you say that because very good friends of mine who often co-host, Jody and Joe Alberti, have Chestnut Hill Arabians, and their Arabians are amazing, beautiful horses. And as you know, they're very resilient long distance. And my friend, Heather Reynolds, and her husband, Jeremy actually just won the Tevis on his Arabian, which is a really tough endurance race. It's the cream of the crop, really. So when you do make a trip to Ocala, we should get Jeremy and Heather to come and ride with us, because their Arabians are some of the best in the world, literally. So we could get some really top riders to come from a bunch of different disciplines and share the experience.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I think often I come across people who are amazing in the show ring, incredible, some of the best riders. But I've been out on the trail with some people who were top riders, but had never been out and you know, seen trees and animals and all that, and their horses were just them, and their horses were unprepared. So I think this is great as an experience for people to get ready for and prepare.
Sure.
And to me, trail riding in the woods or being on my horse on the beach, nothing better.
And I think it's good for the horses.
Yes.
No matter what discipline you do, I think it's really good for their mind.
No doubt.
That's true. That's true. We, in this part of the country, we have lots of competition horses, barrel racing horses, roping horses, and they spend lots of time in the arena, but we try to take them out of the arena and give them this experience.
Exactly.
And it does do a lot of good for them.
It is.
So,
I believe that.
Tell us about your singing career, Del. You're very talented. We love to listen to you. Share a little bit about your musical background and how people can get some of your music.
Well, I've been singing for a lot of years. Came from a family. My mother sang and my dad sang, and so I grew up listening to that, and I really didn't take to it until later on in life. I was 35 years old when I started getting serious about it, and I'm 36 now. You knew that,
I know,
right?
I was going to say, a couple of years ago, right?
So, yeah, so I got started, and things moved really quickly and well for me, and so I just kind of made that transition, and things opened up. I have 5 full-length CDs. I've been blessed to record an album in Nashville, and so I have you know, that bit of opportunity that's been presented to me to sing all over the United States and beyond with the television show and other concerts that I've done. It's just been such a blessing to me. So it's something that's just kind of, I sing all the time, whether I have my guitar, I'm just out doing something, I find myself singing, and it's just a part of me, I guess, kind of an expression. So,
we love to hear it. I mean, feel free if you have a guitar nearby to strum a couple of notes for us.
Well, I do have a guitar close by.
Please.
That's so handy. We'd love to hear just a little bit. It'd be awesome.
And it's a blessing that you have a good voice, because a lot of people would like to
Yes,
to
I can't
do it.
sing a single. I make a joyful noise at church and hope nobody leaves.
That's what it's all about. Well, I wrote this little song. I think I sent you the words to it the other day. I was just kind of playing around with this, and so this is called "The Horse." It's just a short little song, but. The horse, oh how we love him. He'll give you his heart, make you always dream of him. The horse, his spirit is free, like we wish ours could be. He runs wild, he plays like a child, and he'll make you cry when he says his goodbye. Oh, how we love him. make you always dream of him. The
I love that. Oh my God. Dedicated to Sonny. Del, we're at
Thank
less
you.
than 1 minute.
What a beautiful way to finish this.
Beautiful.
Very
Thank
special.
you so much.
Very
for being
special.
with
Thank you
us.
for having me on. I always
It's
enjoy
such an
being with
honor.
you, and we're going to make it down to Ocala.
You
There
are.
you
and,
go.
And you
we're
got
gonna
two
ride
signed
together.
up already.
I'm
so-
looking forward
Absolutely.
to it.
We love you.
Very good.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Really an honor. Del Shields, Best of America by Horseback, host and executive producer, and what a singer he is, and brought tears to my eyes. So what a great show. Wonderful guests, a fantastic co-host I love
Thank
dearly,
you.
Daniela Moguel. Hopefully
no,
she'll come
thank
back
you.
and see us again. I'm Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show. Whether you're in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world or not, happy horsing around till the same time next week.
Horsing around.